One thing in my life that makes me completely uncomfortable is money. If I'm honest, I'm afraid of it. While I do handle some things, like managing our family budget and our daughter's college plan, my husband has always handled our retirement fund, leaving me somewhat in the dark. Am I alone here? How can we get more comfortable with money? And what are some basic things every mom should know? I'm Karen Walrond. I believe in the power of photography and words. The practicing gratitude can make you joyful, that family is everything, and I am wildly convinced you're uncommonly beautiful. Welcome to the Karen Walrond Show. What's keeping you from feeling extraordinary? Is it your discomfort with money? Well, you're not alone. And today we're talking about achieving financial confidence by answering some of your questions. My guest is certified financial planner Sarah Stanich, mom to a 4-year-old son. Sarah, so awesome having you here.
Thank you, Karen.
So I'm just going to start off by saying that money makes me incredibly nervous. In our home, for example, I tend to handle all of the day-to-day stuff. Like I pay our mortgage and I make our car payments and I budget our groceries. But as far as retirement and investments, I have absolutely no clue what's going on, and my husband handles that.
I hear that a lot, that women maybe focus on the short-term checking account, day-to-day expenses, whereas the husband focuses on the longer-term savings.
Right, so what's keeping us back? Like what is keeping us from getting comfortable with the whole picture?
I really think it's two things. One is maybe role models. Maybe, our moms came from a different generation and they didn't handle the money and maybe never taught us about handling the money or thinking about investments. And then the other thing is just kind of the complexity and the number of choices may be really overwhelming for some women. There's different types of accounts, there's thousands of mutual funds and different investments that you can make.
Sure.
And so I think a lot of women get kind of caught up in the details, whereas maybe many men would dive in and learn as they go.
Right. What kind of areas should women focus on in order to get some sort of financial comfort?
Overall, I would love for people to think a little bit bigger and a little bit more long-term. So there's really three things. One is the net worth of your family, to know your assets and your debts. So all of your accounts.
I have assets and debts. Yeah. That's it. So what are we talking about here?
So your accounts, your house, your car, your retirement savings account, and then your debts could be your credit cards, your mortgage, maybe if you have student loans, all those things together. The result is your net worth.
Okay, great. Okay.
And then the second thing is to have an emergency fund.
Wow. All right.
That gives people a lot of confidence to know that if something happens, they're okay. If they want to change careers or take some time off, or if someone loses their job, no problem. Okay. Temporarily at least. And then the third thing is retirement savings, and that's really the long term. If you're always saving a little bit for retirement, you're gonna, that's really gonna grow over time.
Okay, so net worth, emergency fund, and retirement, and that actually brings up something that I'd love to share with you guys. As I think about the three areas that I need to know more about to be comfortable with money, I realize that while my husband and I might individually have all this information, it may not be easily accessible to the other. We need to share the passwords to our accounts and ensure we have them written down and stored somewhere safe. This will go a long way to giving me peace of mind. So Sarah, before we met today, you sent us a bunch of questions that you often get. One of the biggest questions you get, you said, was, should I have a 401k for retirement?
That's an easy question because the answer is yes. If your company offers a 401k, there's probably a lot of benefits in it for you. It's convenient to have money taken right out of your paycheck. Okay. A lot of times a company will have a match, so there's free money that they'll match some of the money that you put into the 401k. So overall, that's going to be a great place to start.
And what happens if my company doesn't offer?
You can do an individual retirement account or IRA.
That's what that means?
Yes.
Okay, yes. And how does that work?
You can do that on your own, and you can set it up with a bank or with a financial institution, or
credit
online.
Union?
Credit union,
okay.
Definitely.
And online, you said?
Yeah, there's lots of places you could do it online for sure.
Okay, and how does that work? Is it very different?
No, I mean you can put up to $5,000 a year if you're under age 50 into an individual retirement account. And you can put in a small amount at a time. You could start with $50 if you want.
Really? You don't have to have a certain chunk of money to start these?
It could be, depending on your institution, but there there are plenty of places you can start small.
So what is the best way to save for a specific family goal, like vacation or a new car or something? What's the best way to do that?
I think people have a lot of success if they automatically put money into a targeted account.
What's a targeted account?
So if you're saving for vacation, for example,
Right.
and it's really clear that this is called vacation, you're a lot less likely to touch it for something else. And the important thing is to do it consistently over time. I mean, say you put $50 a week, that's $2,600 a year. Well, that's gonna pay for
That's
your
a nice vacation.
and it's gonna grow really quickly.
Wow, that is kind of amazing. I never even considered, I'd always done the little jar on my kitchen counter thing. That's sort of an awesome idea. So, and then earlier you mentioned something about emergency fund. How much money should we have in an emergency fund?
It depends on your situation. If you've got 2 people earning a good income in the family, 3 to 6 months of basic expenses is a good emergency fund. That way, if something happens to one person's income, then the other plus the emergency fund can kind of pick up the slack.
And what if you don't have a partner?
Right. If one person is the primary breadwinner, having 8 to 12 months of basic expenses in a savings account is going to give you a lot of financial confidence to know that if something happens, you're going to be okay.
And this doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how many kids you have or anything else like that. It's because it's a monthly, it's how many months you spend on your whole family.
Right, and when I say basic expenses,
yeah.
I mean, your rent or mortgage, groceries, a couple of the basic things, your utilities to get going.
Not the designer shoes.
Exactly. It doesn't mean going out to dinner and going on vacation, yeah.
So we've talked about emergency funds, we've talked about IRAs, we've talked about 401ks. What happens if you don't have a lot of money?
I think it's even more important to, when you're just getting started, to really know where you stand. You can start small and grow over time, but if you start when you're young and you know where you stand, you're going to be well positioned for the future.
Awesome. Sarah, thank you so much for all this amazing information that you've shared with us today.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
And thank you guys for joining us. How are you getting over your fears of money? If you've got any tips, please leave them in the comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Cafe Mom Studios on YouTube. See you next time, and stay extraordinary.